It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jacob Ed, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Shout out to Tyler on the Snap Talk who sends in talking about USC and resources, Ben. Says USC lost a ton when Lori Loughlin got busted and that Full House money was huge.
True. Yeah. The entrance scandal.
Did you ever watch the doc on that?
I didn't.
It's good.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's amazing the damage that like 2 or 3 people can do, if that makes any sense. Lori, in a way, was kind of a victim.
Okay.
No, I mean, not a victim, but like found somebody selling to her access.
Yeah, she got caught up in it, I'm sure, and she was not the only one doing it. She didn't create the scheme.
Right, exactly.
But she was an easy face to paint.
And I kind of get it when you do love your kids and you want the best for them and all that stuff. Now, obviously, she took it way too far. But anywho, shout out to Tyler. That's right. Lori got busted, and that Full House money was gone. All right. Top 3 stories of the day, KSLSports.com, brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start?
Number 1, guys, this breakup is getting pretty messy.
This is Utah State, Boise State, and who's the third?
Colorado State.
Colorado State, suing the Mountain West Conference now for withholding money that they feel they are owed, even though the Mountain West Conference feels they're owed money from the Pac-12 for these exit fees for these teams. And what part of it comes down to, or another part of this lawsuit, in addition to the money that they feel is owed to them from Boise State going to the college football playoff.
They're a part of the lawsuit,
and they are a part of the lawsuit. But some of the money that's been made by the conference that has not been dispersed to these schools, even though they are leaving, they're suing, and they're also mad that it feels like they are arranging for Grand Canyon to join the conference earlier than expected, which could end up taking basically a piece of the pie that's going to be divvied up between these schools and change some travel schedules that'll cost more money.
It is arranged. They are joining this year.
They're joining this year.
Yeah. So they're, I think I might have saw the word fraud.
Yeah, they said the word fraud in the lawsuit, and they feel like the wool's been pulled over their eyes because now they have to adjust what they had already finalized.
I saw a writer from Boise who covers the Broncos use a hashtag Gangster Gloria, which I got to admit made me laugh. This is just it's a messy divorce. If you want
that's exactly right.
If you want to think of it in those terms, my wife and I were tired, but we rewatched an episode of Modern Family from a long time ago, and there was some joke about a guy making a joke about his separated wife that she was spending all of his money in Europe or something like that before, whatever. Gloria is just going to shut off. She's bitter. She's just going to shut off the siphon.
She closed the bank account.
The money comes through her.
Yeah.
So she's saying, okay, I might be in the right, I might be in the wrong, but I'm hanging on to this, and you're going to have to sue me. I am going to make it so difficult for you to get your hands on this dough. And to add insult to injury, I'm going to give some of this money to someone else that's going to be a part of this conference in the future. And now when, judges and all that get involved, I'm sure that the red tape will eventually be sifted through and the money will go to these schools. But Gloria is not going to make it easy. She's going to make them, you're going to have to bend over backwards for this. I'm going to make this as hard for you as possible because you betrayed me.
I think that's what it is. I think it's pettiness. And by the way, it's not just from Gloria.
Absolutely.
It's from the schools. It's from the conference as well. It's just, we're going to go through every word in every contract and figure out where we feel like you might have violated that, and we're just going to bring it up. And we're just going to bring it up and look at every receipt.
And I don't blame her. And again, Gloria Nevarez, the commissioner of the Mountain West Conference, is kind of the face of this topic. But she took the job thinking that it was one thing. It became something else immediately thereafter. And she's out there protecting her interests. Yeah. She's trying to protect the schools that stay behind. She's trying to do what Bowlesby did with the Big 12, and that's scramble and figure out a way for your conference to proceed.
Yep.
And they stabilize things by retaining UNLV and trying to attract other universities around. And they're not going to make it easy for these schools that are leaving because they don't care. She doesn't care. Why? She doesn't represent their interests anymore.
Right. And
so I don't blame the Mountain West for what they're doing. Now it's a little, they could be nicer about it.
But there's no reason to.
But there is no reason to.
Right. And truthfully, no bridge can be too burned, in all honesty, in this situation. Because if any of these schools needed to go back to the Mountain West Conference to stay alive, they would go back, even regardless of how this is happening, as ugly as this could be.
They'd welcome them back.
They would.
We've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen it with Boise.
Right. Exactly right. So I think what we're seeing is make it as hard as possible, make it as ugly as possible, knowing that like the fallout from it is not going to actually be that bad. You might as well just try and save as much money as possible.
Well, and she's got the same problem that Oregon State and Washington State had, is that whatever conference that they put together, it's going to be worth way less than it was before.
Yeah.
So this big war chest of money actually matters because they're never going to see a windfall like that again. So it changes the math on it big time, and it's like a messy divorce. And the Mountain West isn't going to give an inch. And I can't say that I blame them. I do think in this case they're going to lose. I mean, you can't just withhold agreed to payments.
Agreed. But just acquiescing, which I think is probably what happened a little bit too much in the Pac-12, is a death sentence. So you might as well fight for it.
And not to mention that Gloria Nevarez played nice with Oregon State and Washington State. Yeah. She played nice with them with that scheduling agreement, even though people like, I don't know if Scotty was saying this. Somebody on the station was saying you're letting the
rooster in the hen house.
Wolf
in the hen house.
Fox in the hen house.
Fox in the hen house. Don't let the rooster in there.
The
more
rooster,
chickens.
That's a different thing.
More chickens.
No, you're letting the wolf.
Yeah.
Into the hen's house. Fox into the hen house.
Yeah.
Dog.
The predator.
Raccoon.
Coyote?
You're letting the predator into the area.
Letting the hen
prey
into the hen
resides.
house.
And that is exactly what happened. So she was rewarded with losing her conference, basically. So I don't, she's not going to be happy about it.
Keep the rooster out of the fox den. I always say that. I've always said that.
And UNLV wants that money.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, hey, we're the big fish now. We want that dough. All right, what's next, Christian?
Number 2 was a wild first day of NFL preseason. Yesterday, there were injuries all over. Ashton Ginty had 3 carries for -1 yard. So is he a bust?
Obviously, yes.
Yeah, obviously, huge bust. I feel bad because if you saw the picture of his finger, it was pretty hideous, Anthony Richardson. But the absolutely unchecked edge rusher just steamrolling him is everything that you expect from the Colts, everything funny about preseason football, everything funny about Anthony Richardson, which is like...
Can't stay on the field.
You either got to recognize the blitz, or your team has to defend you, or you have to get out of that, or you have to dump the ball off to the running back. Like,
getting creamed isn't the...
A lot of things could have... Everything could have been better than that. But yeah, the absolute wide open lane to drill you and break your finger felt familiar. If you've watched the Colts or you've experienced the Anthony Richardson saga, really, even since Florida. So I was watching it live and I laughed and I felt bad about it, but I truly laughed at how poorly it was executed.
He's a great example of why evaluating players in any sport is really difficult. And while we're talking about the Raiders, they have a big history of this, where Anthony Richardson, and you said this when Utah was playing Florida, by the way, you look at him, he's the size of a linebacker.
Yep.
He runs like the wind.
Huge arm.
And he's got a big arm. And you look at that and you go, whew. Man, can you imagine what that could be? And then you ignore other things like he didn't really play the position very well.
Right.
Even in that game where they beat Utah and he was really, really good, it was at the end and it was super simple stuff. And Utah kind of imploded in a way.
Yes, of course.
But not to relitigate that particular game. But he goes 10th to the Colts. Am I remembering that right?
He went higher than that. I think he was like 5th.
Was it that high? Fifth to the
Regardless,
Colts?
yeah, he was a top 10
Because their evaluator looked at him and goes, wow, look at this guy.
If I get my hands on him.
Are you kidding? Wow, we could really do something.
Fourth, wow.
And it's little decisions like that you just brought up that are really the key to being successful in an NFL level, because everything is so fast.
Yeah.
And you have to know. The reason Tom Brady was so good is because he knew what was going to happen before the snap even came, and then he got the ball out. He threw it. He knew where to go. He knew what to do, all the things. It's not because he was some magician athlete. It was because he knew the game. He read the game. He'd done it a million times, and he became unstoppable. Anthony Richardson does not have that.
And we'll see if he can stay on the field long enough to develop it.
To learn it.
To learn it. And that's
because
the
some
hard part.
never
He
do.
might not. Tonight's games, Detroit at Atlanta. Cleveland, the Shador Sanders show at Carolina.
Is
that
he
game is on the
expected
NFL
to
Network.
start?
I think he's definitely playing, right?
He is expected to start. Gabriel and Tiny Hands Pickett are both injured, so you should see Shador and Tyler Huntley.
Who got signed because of those injuries, right?
And then Washington at New England tonight. So 3 games and then a whole slate of games on Saturday and then 2 more games coming up on Sunday. So football is on. You can watch it.
Preseason is so hard to watch.
Yeah, it's not. It obviously it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything.
But you don't even know who the players are.
But you know what? I just like the sound. I like the audio. I like the visual of it. I had it on last night while I was doing everything else in my night, and I was loving it. It's just like nice to have something on TV, and maybe that's just as stupid as I am. It's just nice to have something else on TV. Love Island ended 3 weeks ago now. I've had nothing to watch consistently, so now just football's on all the time.
Are you trailer guy? Like if there's a movie that you're really anticipating, you know when the trailer comes out, you can't wait to watch it?
No, as I'm a movie guy, you know that, but I don't know when the trailers are coming out.
Because I don't like trailers because I don't want to see it. I'll see the movie. I don't need to see.
I admire that. I do consume too many trailers.
Yeah, I don't really watch trailers. Like it's our conversation about college football camp. We're just so excited about the movie coming out, we can't get enough of the trailer. Like, I can't imagine paying money to go see a 23-23 tie in an NFL preseason game.
And you know what?
I would have burned that stadium to the ground.
I did feel good about that because if you watch the game late, and maybe it was even the Ravens game last night, there were clips in the fourth quarter where they were like at the field level and like showing the quarterback looking over the line. And like in the background, you could tell half the crowd had left. And I was like, good for those people. You got home. Like, yeah, go home. You don't need to stay for a 3-hour preseason game. I was glad even they got sick of it. I had that same feeling.
All right, what's next?
Here's Utah wide receiver Tobias Merriweather. We've heard his name a lot in recent weeks. These are his thoughts on learning Jason Beck's offense.
Yeah, he runs I would say, weird style of offense. The way they just do stuff is just not what's the normal offense for, especially in college. But I think it works great, especially for new guys, and we're able to just come in quick, get it down, and run it.
New Art Monk has dropped. That's going to be the next great receiver at Utah, Tobias Merriweather.
You know what's funny is correct me if I'm wrong, because I was following this from afar and in between dodging threats and insults from Texas Tech fans. I saw some of Bartle's reporting, for example, and some other things coming out of camp. And it seems like they're really tempering the receiver thing for once. I've heard things like great strides. And so maybe I'm just viewing it from a different angle.
Do you have the clip of Witt talking about receivers and very quickly pivoting to the tight end position? And to your point, yes. Now, Witt has even said, we'll feel better after Saturday. He did say, they feel a lot better about the receivers today or right now versus where they were even a week or two ago.
But that's not, speaking of Tyler Huntley, there's a clip that Hans played over and over again where he goes through all these receivers, and he's like, I've got this guy, and this guy, and this guy. And it's like, I've got guys. And it's like, you just listed a bunch of guys that I don't think. So anyway, I've been getting a different vibe on the receiver thing. I'm and again, correct me if I'm wrong. Are they hanging Merriweather as the next Art Monk?
No, I think he is the name that has emerged.
Okay.
But no, I don't think there is this thought of, I don't think we're going to get the think piece of is this the next 1,000-yard pass catcher?
Do you remember what they were saying about Raylon Singleton?
Yeah, of course.
All that stuff. And no offense to Raylon, he's just the first name that jumps into my mind, but he turned up, he was okay.
No, I mean, how many times have we seen, it's at least 2 where it's been midway through camp, we're exactly at this point, and you're just trying to see if this one transfer is going to become eligible, and he was good at his last stop, kind of, where he played 5 games and was kicked off the team, and you're just like waiting for him to break through. It's like, because it's been pretty desperate. It's been pretty desolate for a while, and we will see if there's. I'm just curious what type of production there will be. I'm not expecting big production. I'm just honestly curious how they're going to be used.
For once, it just feels like they're underselling it.
Which is probably not a bad thing.
Well, yeah, especially when you don't have the next Art Monk.
Yeah. Which they have never had.
Or a Mark Rippon that can throw him the ball.
Yeah.
I'd say they've made big strides. Tobias Merriweather is really doing some good things. Tayshaun Lyons or not Tayshaun Lyons, but Zip is doing some good things.
I do like hearing Whit snap. He's trying to remember Zipperer's name, and he snaps a couple of times. Like, what? Yeah. He hasn't touched the ball all camp. Like, what is his name?
Honestly, I don't blame, especially football coaches, if they need a second to have a name.
It's
come
amazing
to them
they have
because
any names
There are
memorized.
so many names that they have to keep. Like, it's incredible. So anyway, I'm giving Whit a pass on that one. But it does. See, even that clip, like it felt like kind of underselling it a little bit.
I'm with you. Which is fine. That's
Which
totally
is
fine.
totally fine.
The offense is not designed to have 900-yard receivers.
And you heard Merriweather say that.
It might
that
be
it's
designed to
different.
have 9 100-yard receivers, but not one 900-yard receiver. You're not going to see that.
Nope. All right, stay tuned. We'll have more coming up next. It is the Jake and Ben Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.